Hello there and welcome. In this video I got you 10 different tips and tricks for caravans in Rimworld. We're going to be covering various different things that I hope will make your caravan life easier. So let's get started right away with number 1, Pemmican, which is pretty obviously the king of all road foods. It has a high shelf life, it can be mass produced in advance, it's just a little bit work intense, which is one of the main downsides, but beyond that, it's pretty nice as you can just use it either for traveling, sell it away, or even feed your animals with. It does even get eaten by herbivores, which is pretty interesting because it consists 50% out of meat. Anyways, what's really important to note here is if you want to use pemmican as road food, and actually I think that's the best usage of it, you should be actually producing it too much besides probably pet food. Anyways, is manage those food policies. Your everyday food policy should not include pemmican. You need to forbid it, otherwise the people will just gobble it away. Also make sure that your animals that get to roam freely through the colony are not allowed to eat it because they will also decimate your stockpiles. As soon as somebody goes onto Caravan, you just need to apply food policies for them to eat pemmican again, because otherwise they won't, and you're good to go. A little bit micro intense, but really worth the work if you want to make caravans work long distance. If you are traveling mostly short distance, and with that I mean everything less than 5 days, seriously, you don't really need to bring it up. It's just fancy. Its best usage is for long-term traveling. There it really shines. All right, number 2, animals. So the horses are the best example of what an animal can offer for a caravan. They offer carrying capacity and riding speed. Not all animals provide both of these stats. Some of them only provide carrying capacity. Buffaloes, for example. Some of them only provide riding speed. Some of them both, as you see here. If you have modded content, it goes places from here on out. In short, you should bring, if you can, as many riding animals as you have people that are participating in the caravan, and carrying animals are really awesome for trading caravans because they just bring you so much more capabilities into the whole mix. Therefore, take a look into the wildlife and check on out what you can pick up or what's around for the animals there. Just, yeah. It's worth a look. There's a lot of things possible, especially when you're modded. You'd be surprised how many of these animals have a usage in this regard. Anyways, number 3, always bring guards. This is something very important on the road. Every caravan will eventually get attacked by something. So, non-violent people are very much not to favor in this regard, unless you want to use them as your kiting element, which your shooters are using to, kite the enemy away from themselves. But beyond that, be aware of the fact that without proper defenses, it's really a bad idea to go onto the road. Personally love a mixture of assault rifles and chain shotguns for that regard. I mean, I find that to be the most general jack of all trades combo, because it's pretty easy to acquire and pretty powerful. If you don't have these available, I really like auto pistols because they fire fast, and pump shotguns because they have a pretty nice ratio between accuracy, range, and firing speed and damage. It's pretty devastating on short ranges. That's pretty nice about them. Don't underestimate. They're really, really cool. Okay, number 4. When you get hurt on the road, you should have medicine, doctors, and a bedroll, at least one of them. I even recommend to always bring the best medicine on the road, because if your people get an infection on the road, can be lethal. If your people get a heavy disease on the road, can be lethal. A good sleeping spot applies 2 things: a good bed rest, which makes the immunization go better, and it applies a good spot for the doctor to operate on. All in all, these 3 things are very important for the possibility that somebody gets injured, but what's really nasty, sometimes you're just on the road and somebody just gets the flu. And that is really, really helpful if you have stuff to take care of that problem. Due to that, take care that you probably consider sending a good doctor on the road. And yeah. Number 5, seasonal influence. Actually, it's temperature, but mostly you will be noticing or not noticing that if you plan your travels during the winter months, they will be a lot slower. Traveling speed is influenced by a lot of different factors. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more now. But one of them is temperature. At something around minus 20 something degree, as far as I remember, the debuff from moving slower due to cold is capped out, but that means during the winter months, traveling is a lot slower. And if you're playing on cold planets, or if you're playing in the polar regions, this might be a factor that is constantly working against you. So that is one thing that I really want to point out. The winter months are really not the best time in the year to go for traveling due to that. Another thing, number 6, is traveling time is also being factored by other things. Terrain has movement difficulty by and in itself. A forest is easier to traverse than a bog, where we have something to show off here. Scarlands, come on, be a little bit more cooperative here. Here, Clove Forest, movement difficulty 2. And there's various biomes, and swamps are the worst. Here, tropical rainforest is a 2. Swamps and bogs have a natural, really high impediment. And on top of that, natural rate, that just is the biome itself, comes mountains and hills. The heavier the mountainous environment, the higher the movement difficulty becomes, which is also increasing the traveling speed. And if you are now trying to travel through the mountains in the winter, this is a hell of a trip that is suffering from so many heavy multipliers that you shouldn't be even doing that. So in short, try to plan your route as little as possible through mountains, because they really slow you down a lot, and take into account that some biomes are slowing you down more than others, and some just simply don't, as you see there, forest and here, swamp, finally. Here's one. So swamps are the worst. Quadruples the traveling speed. Just as something that you can note. The game will automatically try to find a route that is ideal, but sometimes it's worth noting to influence that. So, number 7. When you want to start a caravan to put them onto the road, timing matters so much. This, for example, is a very, very bad time to start a caravan, because your people will take the animals, take the things that the equipment, the packaging, and then after everything is packed up, they'll start leaving the map. If I'd be ordering that now, well, people are almost going to bed. So the ideal time for me is as early as your people are out of bed, have some food in their bellies. That's the moment when you should be ordering the caravan to be packed up. Also in the miscellaneous menu, easy to overlook, caravan hitching spot. This is the spot where your people will bring the animals to and start packing stuff into the caravan. It should be always in the vicinity of your main storage areas, otherwise it's gonna be a logistical nightmare and slow down like crazy. And last but not least, when you add people to the caravan at the beginning to help them pack in things, you can order them to go out of the caravan before they leave the map, just if you need to speed up things. But in all honesty, just let them go early after the breakfast, the people that take the caravan, and they will be off the map before anything bad should happen. Normally, if you're using the hitching spot, that is. Really excellent addition that didn't exist back then. I even had to mod it back when. It's really cool that this is now vanilla. Makes me happy. Alright, number 8. Recreation and foraging on caravans. So, people get bored on caravans, and to stop that from happening, you just have to stop traveling. They will start recreating themselves then. It took me to look it up on Wikipedia. I didn't know it, and I hope it was nothing you did already know. The other thing is, the higher your plant skill on the characters that you send on the travels, and depending on the biomes that you're traveling through, the more you can sustain your caravan by themselves by just picking from the tiles that you're traveling through passively. You don't need to do that actively. In short, a high plant skill is a really, really good thing to send onto your caravans. Thing is, just some biomes, the trick doesn't work. There you need your stockpiles, and this is where stuff like Pemmican comes in handy, because with good foraging and a good stockpile of Pemmican, your people can really run around the map for months at ease. No problem at all. That's pretty cool at that. Okay, so number 9, wealth management. Here's an interesting caveat. Sometimes when I feel like my colony is really in trouble and I'm scared that I won't be surviving the next attack, one thing that I do is to send my weakest people onto a caravan to sell away things that are just lying around in my warehouse. This will do 2 things. For one, the next attack will be a lot less vicious because I sent away people, and the other thing, I sent away wealth. This game measures how hard it will smack you, mostly by time spent on the tile and wealth of the colony. So in short, take away the wealth, and the next attack will be less vicious. Caravaneering can be, therefore, a strategic measure to protect yourself from an attack that you probably wouldn't survive because, I don't know, you're currently rebuilding because mechanoids were doing mechanoid things lately in your colony. Who knows? But I had several occasions where I was really, really managing my survival with just sending people away for a while. Don't worry about that. The game downscales the threat that it sends after you accordingly when there's less of value in your colony. And number 10, last but not least, camping. So nowadays, caravans can make campsites, which allows you to enter any tile of the map and just scour it for resources. A while ago, I was installing mods specifically for that, and they were less generous than the vanilla Rimworld currently is. What I'm trying to get down to is, when the resources in your home tile get scarce, you can really start scouring around and picking up minerals and stuff from your outside world around you. This is something new that wasn't possible before, that's main reason why I wanted to put it up into this video, and it also serves up for example for the wealth management point. You can send away people temporarily to pick up things elsewhere while you're rebuilding your main outpost. Things like these can sometimes be quite interesting, but most of the time I use it because the stuff that I can mine on my home tile has just been stripped away, and I don't want it, and I don't want to go for deep mining at my home tile, and that's a really cool new thing, and yeah, I hope you'll have some fun with it too. Alright, so 10 tips about caravans. I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comment section what you find to be really helpful tips and tricks in that regard. And I just have to say thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Consider donating to the channel via Ko-fi or any other given means. I deeply appreciate your help, and I deeply appreciate you watching this video up until the very end. Thanks for your time and attention, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.